Welcome to the Moto Talks Motocross post-race show hosted by Moto Daily. It is January 11th, 2026. As always, guys, can check out the Moto Daily socials on the Moto Talks Motocross Instagram and TikTok by checking our bio. We link all the sponsors on the talk show and over on the main channel that keep this going, such as Intake Breathing, Crocodile Cloth, Cargo Smart, Corner Coach, Vulgar Co., Smart Straps, Rebel Optics, Vortex Racing, Circuit Equipment, Onyx Off-Road, and BC Goggle Co. Yesterday was A1. And it was a phenomenal A1. Well, I don't know. Is phenomenal? Is phenomenal the correct word, right? Because there was definitely a lot of guys that we want. Like, okay, the guys that won yesterday, mainly in the 250 class, we did not expect to win. But starting off our 250, our case you guys missed it yesterday. We saw Deegan take heat number 1. We saw Max Anstey for heat number 2, and then the overall. The first through podium for the 250 class was Max Anstey, Chance Hymas, and then Ryder DeFrancisco. For the 450 class, we saw in heat number 1, we saw Prado take it. Heat number 2, we saw Kenny. And then in the main event, we saw Eli Tomac swing on top. And then our overall 3 for the main event was Tomac, Kenny, and Prado. So a great day for Prado and Kenny, right? I mean, beautiful day for them. But even more beautiful day for Eli Tomac. And Tomac looked so good on his KTM yesterday. It was insane. Ricky said it yesterday. Ricky Carmichael, he says, it looks like he's been on that bike for 5 years. And it does. I mean, he was riding so good. So before we really dive into the 450 class, I want to stick in the 250 class for a little longer. We saw in press day on Friday, Deegan saying, and I quote, "I have unfinished business in the 250 class, right? I have a little unfinished business before I leave." And everyone's wondering, well, what the hell? What's the unfinished business, right? I mean, he just won the championship, and unless it's like some of the other riders that he was going back and forth with, but Shimoda isn't in the West Coast this year, and Beaumaire isn't in the West Coast. So, like, what is it? And a lot of people are thinking it's his starts, because we saw Hayden Deegan get really, 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 really bad starts last year in 2025 for Supercross. Motocross, different story. We see Deegan gates dropping outdoors, and even SMX, and I mean, we just see him go straight out front, but Supercross, he definitely does have that struggle. And I can confidently say that unfinished business is still not resolved. Deegan went into the whole shot, I believe. In the main event, I believe Deegan I think he went in the whole shot in 6th. So, or no, maybe it was 10th. It was lower than, it was about 10. He ended up finishing 4th overall, just trying to take that podium away from Ryder DeFrancisco. But, I don't know, and surprisingly enough, Deegan, he wasn't that upset about his results, so he actually got interviewed by Supercross on the post-race interview show that they had live on YouTube, and he was like, I'm in the top 5, like I was in the top 5 last year, won the championship. I'm not feeling the best. He said one time his luck will come, like to win the opening round. It's something that's obviously been hard for him, but he's in the top 5, and I mean. Yeah, I can kind of see that, right? Everyone says, it's a popular saying for Supercross, you cannot win the championship in the first round, but you could sure as hell lose it. So, to me, I think if you get anywhere lower than 7th place, maybe 8th place, the chances of you winning the title is about a 1%. So, the fact that Deegan was in the top 5, I mean, he can very well rebound from that really quickly, really easily. I don't know about easily, but I think he could definitely do it within the next maybe 3 to 4 rounds. But we saw Max Anstey, after he came off that heat win, we saw Max Anstey dominate, the main event. I mean, it was insane. So Ryder DeFrancisco got the whole shot. And he was leading it for quite a bit, and he was riding pretty comfortable out there. Ricky Carmichael said, like, if I was him, it's the first time he's leading a main event. So if I was him, I would just don't get excited. Literally don't get excited, just ride, and he did that until Max caught up, and he didn't put up that much of a fight, right? Because you don't want to go down and then your possible second place, like, okay, I just got passed for second, but I'm gonna try to get him back, and like be aggressive, and then now you're in 10th place and you have a broken shoulder, right? So, but Ryder D got third overall, but Max Anstey, he rode so good. He rode great, and I think a lot of people are saying that Levi Kitchen is Hayden Deegan's main competitor, and to that I laugh at, and that is because Kitchen is not Deegan's main competitor, and it's just not it. It's not it. Kitchen hasn't scratched the surface yet of getting into it with Deegan. Kitchen hasn't. I mean, the most Kitchen did to Deegan was take him out in the second round of SMX, and to me that was, that was really dumb because Kitchen wasn't even in the fight at all for the title. So like it was kind of random to me. But to answer the question is who is Deegan's main competitor, and that's Max Anstey. And yeah, Max Anstey has age on Deegan, but you could take that to either a disadvantage or an advantage. And in Max's eyes and in my eyes, that's an advantage. Someone asked him, someone said during press day, right, they had all the 250 riders sitting at the table, and someone said, Max, like, you're the oldest 250 rider on this panel. Like, what's an advantage? And he said, I know when I need to stop pushing. He said, I see that line on the ground, and I know how close I can get to that line without stepping my foot over the line. And that's something that Deegan does not do. That's something that Kitchen does not do. That's something that even Chase Sexton in the 450 class does not do, right? So, I mean, he knows that, and that's a great advantage. And it reminds me of Cooper Webb, because obviously Max Anstey is not the fastest guy, but neither is Cooper Webb. But Cooper Webb rides so smart, and that's because he's been through it all. Max Anstey also said that. He says, I've seen it all. I've been through it all. Like, I know when to stop pushing. And it reminds me a lot of Cooper Webb. So, getting my hot take on the 250 class, I can't say I didn't expect Deegan to end like this, or to start his season like this, but I kind of did. Like, we look at Supercross all of last year. Deegan did not get good starts. Deegan didn't win that many races last year. He won a handful, but he did not win that many races last year. So but the off season, listen, you can train so much on the off season, but once it comes to getting in that stadium and lying behind the gate, it's a whole different ball game. It's just so different, right? And even Chase Sexton said it. Someone was like, how are you? Like, how do you feel about tomorrow? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, me riding at the practice track compared to riding in the stadium for the first time, right, and getting my first race, like, I don't know. Like, it's two different things. You won't know until you're there. So, I can't say I didn't expect this from Deegan, but I kind of did. But I think he will bounce back from that. I really do. Now, going over to the 450 class, we saw Jorge Prado take heat number 1. He was battling out with Eli Tomac, which is really cool to me. Eli Tomac got really close at the last turn going over the finish with Prado. Ken Roczen took heat number 2, and then Eli Tomac wins A1 yet again, and he's going into San Diego with the red plate. So a great day for KTM, right? It was beautiful, and the overall for the 450 class was Tomac, Ken Roczen, Prado came in third, getting his first podium in only, 3 or 4 races in Supercross, and he was so stoked about it. Now, listen, I'm not a fan of the way Jorge Prado did things over at Kawasaki. I'm a Kawasaki guy. I'm a Kawasaki fan. I'm not a fan of the way Prado did things over there, but I can confidently say that I was wrong, and that it was the bike, and it was not the rider. Because, Jorge Prado, the guy's won multiple he's won multiple MXGP titles. So, it's like when we saw him going into A1 last year on that Kawasaki, you're like, oh, like, he's going to do great. And yeah, he got the whole shot. You don't know is the thing, right? So, what if he didn't get hurt at A2? what if he didn't get hurt in the third round? Like, then what could happen, you know? But I mean, I wasn't a fan of the way he did things. I feel like he gave up a little bit, right? Like, I don't think he was giving his all. Once he knew, like, all right, I'm leaving Kawasaki, I think he was like, I could stop trying, right? That's what I think. But again, I don't know. But I can say that it was not Jorge Prado. It was the bike. So I know a lot of Jorge Prado haters. I don't hate him, but I just wasn't a fan of the way he did things. But I know a lot of people aren't really gonna say that, because then they'll be wrong. But I could confidently say that I was wrong, and that is it was not Prado, it was the bike, because the Prado that I saw last night, I mean, that was the Prado that I imagined coming from MX, multiple MXGP titles, right? And then Roxon rode great day for Roxon, getting heat number 2, and then coming in second. And he has said multiple times, he said he got a little irritated with himself in the main event. He was coming up on Tomac. He was gaining a couple seconds, then he would make a mistake, and then he would lose a couple seconds, and then he would gain, and then he would lose. So he was kind of going back and forth, but keeping Prado off of him and kind of just staying in that second was something that was really good for him. Now let's talk about my favorite. Let's talk about everyone's favorite. That's Chase Sexton. Oh boy. So Chase Sexton had a crash in Heat 2. I believe it was Heat 2. He crashed on the face of the over-under jump. And that was his first crash of 2026, first race on the Kawasaki. So he had that crash on the over-under. He had to walk the bike back down, walk it around. And then in that main event, I mean, we saw at least 3 mess-ups. We saw 1 crash, and then we saw he went off the track like at least 2 or 3 other times. And he finished 8th overall. So I don't know what's going on with Kawasaki. Kawasaki was not their day yesterday, and the fact that they made a post this morning, A1 in the books, the amount of hate, and I'm not gonna lie, I gave a little hate. I'm like, yeah, A1 in the books, dude. Levi Kitchen, I'm like, one of your 250 riders got 10th place in the main event. Your other 250 rider, which is Cameron McAdoo, didn't even finish the race. He crashed. He got dead last. And then, let's see, your 450 rider, Garrett Marchbanks, didn't even make it to the main event. He couldn't even get it past the LCQ. And then Chase Sexton crashed multiple times in less than 10 minutes, and then he got 8th place. It was not a great day for Kawasaki, so I really hope they bounce back from that. I really do. Cooper Webb had some bad starts, right? We saw Cooper Webb kind of where Sexton was. Sexton was, in between that 10th and 8th place for a little bit. Same thing with Cooper Webb, and then they were kind of just going back and forth a little bit. Webb made some mistakes. We saw Webb make a really, really interesting mistake in the heat race, and that was AP was on the berm going into the turn, and then I guess Webb literally did not see AP, whether he was in his blind spot or he just wasn't looking to the left of him, and just completely cleaned him out, and that caused AP to go to the LCQ, and then he made it to the main. But I mean, I don't know. Normally, I was talking about it earlier, normally you don't see Webb make mistakes like that, so AP was not happy about it, but he doesn't hold grudges, he said, and, they talked after the race I saw this morning, so they're good, which I'm glad to hear. I don't know what we're going to do with Sexton, man. I really don't know, but I say that he has until A2 to figure it out, because you're 4 or 5, right, 6 rounds in, you're still getting under 5th place, your championship is over. So I say he has until A2 to completely figure it out. Maybe give him till Houston. But we'll see. Okay, as we're wrapping this up, I want to go over my picks versus reality. So last Friday, we did Friday pick day on the RM fantasy app, which you guys can download. It is really fun. I only got 50 points, so we're going to talk about it for a little bit. All right, so I'm going to pull this up really quick. This is going to be my first year doing this, like, fully. Last year, I kind of did a little bit on and off. Okay, here we go. So, these are my picks. Eli Tomac for 1, Chase Sexton for number 2, Anderson for 3, Prado 4th, Hunter Lawrence 5, and Malcolm Stewart for the wild card. We saw Eli Tomac at 1st, Ken Roczen 2nd, Prado 3rd, Lawrence got 4th, Anderson got 5th, and then Dylan Ferrandis got the wild card. I was so close to getting a lot locked in. So if we had Tomac was spot on, right? Second place was off. But if Jason Anderson and Jorge Prado swapped, and if Hunter didn't make the pass on Anderson, I would have had Anderson correct, I would have had Prado correct, and I would have had Hunter Lawrence correct, and I would have had Eli Tomac correct. So I only would have been off. I only would have gotten 2 wrong, but we only got 1 right. But it was the main one, and that was the winner. So I am happy about that. Now, speaking of Malcolm Stewart in the wild card, I do want to say that I'm going to be showing you guys a video that may be disturbing to some people, but we did have a red flag right when the gate dropped of the main event in the 450 class, and it was a pretty interesting crash. I'll pop it up on the screen right now. We saw Malcolm rolling the triple, and then, I mean, it wasn't Justin's fault at all, but we saw Malcolm rolling the triple, and then Justin Barcia just cleaned him out, landed right on top of him. And, I mean, you look at Malcolm, right, but you look at Barcia, he literally flung in the berm, and he was not moving. He was not moving for a solid 10 seconds. I don't know if he got knocked out, or if he passed out or what, but he was not moving. So it is a pretty interesting video. It's a pretty interesting crash. The latest that we had was last night, and the latest was Malcolm Stewart was still in the Alpine Star medical trailer getting evaluated, and then Justin Barcia was taken to a nearby hospital. But both of them were awake. They knew what happened. They were conscious and all of that stuff. So they're not dead is what I'm trying to say, and that is really good, because by the looks of it, you never know. So that is the latest that we have for that. I mean, it looked like Malcolm had a broken hand or a broken shoulder maybe, because he cannot stand up straight all the way, and he was holding his arm. So, but as it goes for Barcia, I mean, that land was horrendous. So I'll be surprised if his spine isn't all messed up, which is really, really scary, right? So yeah, that sucks for Justin Barcia and for Malcolm Stewart, but we will keep you guys updated. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments down below who are your A1 picks and who are going to be your San Diego picks. I think A1 was interesting. And yeah, we will see you guys on the next one.